WandaVision, 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 WandaVision. WandaVision is... what is happening exactly? Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about WandaVision. Now, a few weeks ago I did release a video talking about WandaVision and how I think it's the boldest move Marvel has made so far, especially its introduction to Phase 4 and being the first project in Phase 4. So you can go check out that video. We talked about WandaVision and episode 1 through 3. So now today we're going to be talking about episodes 4 through 7. Because this week episode 8 drops, and then next week episode 9 drops. And then that's it. Those are the last two episodes. And it seems like time has run so slowly, but also so fast. I don't know. It seems like just last week we watched the first two episodes and were super confused of what we watched. And now 7 episodes deep, we're even more confused of what the hell is going on. And we're going to be really relying on those last two episodes to provide us with answers. Now, before we jump too deep into this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. By the way, also check out my sweater. I got this sweater at H&M for a pretty good price. Thought the sweater was really cool, first of all, right? I saw Marvel, I saw a few characters in here. I was like, this is dope. But this is what I noticed the other day, is that in the V here, there's Vision himself right there. You see that? You see that? That's Vision. That's Vision right there. It's Maximoff the... oh yeah, and Wanda is in here as well. She's in the L right here. Look at that. Perfect. So episode 4 is actually really cool. It was a good change in pace because for the first 3 episodes we were in Westview and we were changing decades and we were changing styles and we were in this sitcom style. But then episode 3 ended with, Monica Rambeau being kicked out of Wanda's reality. So you really thought that the next episode is really going to explore what's happening outside this fortress, right? Episode 4 had one of the best beginnings to any WandaVision episode. It's where Monica Rambeau appears back from the snap and she finds out her mom died, and we get this kind of horrific glimpse at what it was like when people were coming back, the panic, the chaos it brought to the world, because in Spider-Man Far From Home it was more like comedic, but in this show it's exploring like, oh no, this is like really messed up. And I'm expecting more shows, like I'm expecting Falcon and the Winter Soldier to have a scene like that as well. Like more shows will start exploring the blip and how, it affected the world. Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and the Wasp came back. I really like Randall Park. I think he's hilarious, and I'm happy that he's come back for the show. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in more Marvel projects as a side character because I think he does bring great comedic relief. And in this show, his character is more like serious and more on task. Like in Ant-Man and the Wasp, it seemed like they used him for more comedic timing. He was just this goofy FBI agent and he was more funny than serious. But in this show, it seems like he's finding that balance really well, where he can be really funny, but at the same time, he's really focused on the mission and he's dialed in, and I really like that they did with him. Also, cool little Easter egg. I mean, everybody talked about this already, but him and the magic trick, that was really cool. Did not notice that first. When I was rewatching the episode, I was like, oh shit, yeah, no, he did that because he was learning magic in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Cool little Easter egg, cool little detail. And in that episode, they also bring Darcy from the first 2 Thor movies into the play. And I think she was like one of the best parts of the second Thor movie. I think the second Thor movie is the worst MCU movie made. Out of all the 23 movies, it's probably the worst one. And I think she was probably the best part as far as I can remember. I don't really remember that movie that much. But yeah, no, she's great also. She's a great addition too. And this is what Marvel does so well now that they've built this big universe, right? The MCU. They can take out these side characters and move them to different stories, move them to different locations. We haven't seen her since, 2013? Who would have thought she would have came back? And then Kevin Feige was like, okay, let's write her in here because it makes sense why she would be here. She would be studying this. What I really like about episode 4 is that the characters, Jimmy Woo and Darcy, they were asking the same questions the audience were. They were like, is Vision still alive? Why the hexagon shape? Why sitcom? Why is it changing decades? And it seems like in that episode, all the questions that they were asking, all the questions that Jimmy Woo was writing on the board, they're all going to be answered, because why would the show display those questions and, you know, have the characters ask them if it's not going to answer them later on. So I'm looking forward to the answers, because I don't think we still got the answers for a lot of these. Like, why sitcoms? Why is it jumping decades? What's up with the hexagon shapes? Hexagon shapes might be like a big thing in the future, because today, the Spider-Man, this third Spider-Man movie title was announced. The final one. It's called Spider-Man. Yeah, it's called Spider-Man No Way Home. What does that mean? I don't know. There's no way home because he's in a different multiverse, multiple realities. I don't know. But those hexagons might come into shape later. We'll see. Then we move to my favorite episode so far of WandaVision, which is episode 5. And this episode was just sick. It's one of the longest episodes so far in the show. It was like 42 minutes long. Credits are super long in this show, so I don't even know how long the actual episode was, but I noticed the full length was 42 minutes long. So we jump right back into the sitcom style, but now we're also cutting to the outside to show what Monica and Agent Wu and Darcy are working on, and they're working on their own separate thing. Monica is calling in like a aerospace engineer, and Darcy's telling her that her cells were changed because she entered and came back out. So there's like a plot going on there. But this episode shifted focus back to Westview, and this episode was really sick because we get the introduction to the twins. First of all, the twins have these powers where they start growing up how they feel like growing up. They get a dog. Agnes is like hanging out. But what I really like about this episode is, once again, Paul Bettany's vision. I've talked about this in my last video about how Paul Bettany's killing it right now. He's having so much fun with the role, and he was having fun the last like 4 episodes, right? Or the last 3 episodes, right? But in that 3rd episode, like, he was kind of starting to put pieces together, like something strange happening here. Like, he goes to work and he unlocks Norm's full personality. And the guy who plays Norm, by the way, does a fantastic job in this scene where he's like panicking, and then Vision puts him back into the sitcom style, and he switched it on a dime. But in this episode, after he's starting to find information that something's wrong here, he almost starts to enter like a depression stage. Like, he's lost, he's scared. He tells Wanda in this episode, I don't remember anything outside of Westview, I don't know my life, like, I'm scared. It's a complete shift from where Vision was in the beginning of this series, where he's going along with the whole thing and he's having fun. No, this time he is crumbling and he just doesn't know what to do anymore. What's your favorite WandaVision commercial so far? We have 2 episodes left, and, you know, we might get 2 more commercials, but my favorite so far is the Lagos paper towel one. I just love the tag at the end. Lagos paper towels. When you make a mess, you didn't mean. Obviously referring to Civil War, when she blew up that building by accident in Lagos, Nigeria. I laughed a lot at that. That was great. Anyways, Agnes ends up killing Sparky, their dog, and at the end of the episode, we have this really cool showdown between Vision and Wanda, and they're having like this domestic argument, and Wanda does this thing where she's like, okay, I've had enough of this, roll credits, and Vision's like not letting the credits roll. I thought that was great. And they get like into this little standoff where they're both floating in the air, and she's not having it and he's not having it. And then we get a knock on the door. And this is where I was like, at first I thought, okay, Agnes. And this is where the episode was set up so well, because Agnes was like entering at like random moments to, you know, randomly throughout the episode. So at the end you think it's Agnes again. But it's not Agnes. It's Evan Peters playing Pietro, playing Quicksilver. Now, if you don't know this, I know a few of my friends actually surprisingly didn't know this. I watched this episode with 2 of my friends and I thought they would get it. They did not get it. Evan Peters played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, and he's probably the best version of Quicksilver so far. Aaron Taylor Johnson did a pretty good job, but he was only in like half of Age of Ultron, right? Like, he only got 1 movie basically, and he died in it. But Evan Peters got like multiple movies, and he had those 6 scenes, those slow motion scenes in the X-Men movies. Awesome. I lost my mind when the camera showed that it's Evan Peters as Quicksilver. So let me just give you my quick theory on Evan Peters as Quicksilver and what I think is actually going on. Now, my friends, after I told them about the X-Men thing, they all jumped to this. Oh my god, X-Men, that's how they're gonna introduce them. This is happening. I'm approaching it with more like pessimism in terms of like, I think I heard Kevin Feige say that like, they have no plans to introduce the X-Men yet, like it's too early. And I kind of agree with him, like they just got the rights to them and they might want to explore some more MCU stories before they launch the X-Men into this. So my theory was that Evan Peters is just there for fan service. Like in terms of that, I originally thought I was like Wanda created Pietro, right? And Pietro really could have been played by anybody. Because in the next episode, in episode 6, he does tell her, she's like, why do you look different? And he's like, well, you might not want to be reminded of the trauma, right? So she might not even want to look at her brother's actual face. So Quicksilver could have been played by anybody because Wanda just made him, right? But I thought, okay, so Marvel, instead of just getting anybody, they got the next best thing, which is Evan Peters to be, you know, this anybody. Just for fan service, because those who've seen the X-Men movies will go nuts. I don't think it's actually them pulling him out of the X-Men timeline and bringing him in. I think Evan Peters is just there for fan service. Just so we look at Evan Peters and we're like, oh my god, here's him as Quicksilver again. That's crazy. Again, I think that character could have been played by anybody in the show, but they just specifically chose Evan Peters for fan service. Now listen, this video is all just my thoughts and my theories leading to the end. The last 2 episodes are about to happen soon. So maybe at the end, you know, all the X-Men will come out and, you know, X-Men will happen and Magneto and Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy will all pull up to the scene at the end. I don't know, you know, like part of me feels like, nah, like it's just, he's just there for fan service. Maybe it's just me being so pessimistic. Maybe I should be there with more optimism and be more with the hype. Everybody online freaking out, again, being like, X-Men, X-Men, X-Men. I'm like, no, guys, relax, relax. They're tricking you. This is all a trick. It happens. Episode 5 also had that great scene where Wanda, like, takes the drone and she comes out of the fortress and she, like, chucks the drone at Tyler Hayward and she points all the guns at him and he's like, and she's like, alright, leave me alone. Or there's gonna be problems. Waves her hand and fucking leaves like a boss. Come on, that's dope. That episode was just packed with so many great scenes. Wanda is a boss. So then episode 6 happens, and episode 6 I was really excited for, right? Because I said episode 5 was so great, fantastic cliffhanger. I could not wait the entire week to watch episode 6. So when episode 6 came out, I got right on it, right? And to be honest, it was a little bit of a letdown in terms of like just the pacings. I thought we had so much momentum going into episode 6 and just kind of slightly were let down. The best parts of that episode were comic book accurate suits. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen and her comic book accurate Wanda costume. The internet had many thoughts on it, many positive thoughts. I mean, if you didn't watch that and fall in love with her, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it was like a Halloween episode. One of my favorite lines in that episode was when the young kid who's fast, I forget their name Billy and Tommy, but I forget who's who. I'm sorry, it's just whoever is the fast one. He's like, yeah, kick ass. And then Wanda repeats the line like, huh, kick ass. And if you don't know, there's the picture of Evan Peters and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who have both played Quicksilver in this universe, were in the movie Kick-Ass together. And yeah, it was just kind of weird to highlight that line, right? Of her being like, huh, Kick-Ass. Again, fan service. Like, they know what they're doing. They know that we know both of them were in Kick-Ass. Like, they know what's happening. The only reason I think the pace slowed down here after the great 5th episode is because, like, I really thought we were gonna get some answers, but then we just got even more questions. The whole episode was surrounded around Pietro walking around and asking Wanda questions, which was like a little bit sus. You were like, why are you asking these questions, dude? You're asking a little too much there, right? But obviously then, you know, we find out potentially why he's asking all these questions. But again, it was like, you get all this reveal in episode 5, and then back to even more questions. I was like, oh, come on, answer some of them. Give me something here. Also, great commercial in episode 6. The Yo Magic one, where the kid like can't open it and he starts dying. What was that about? What? Huh? A great moment in this episode is when Vision reaches the end of like the wall and he's like trying to push his way out. At that point you're thinking, okay, you are dead, you are obviously a creation of Wanda. What's gonna happen to you if you exit? Are you gonna die or are you gonna live? Clearly he exits and he starts to die because all, like, basically he's starting to get pulled back, like the little metals coming off of him. That's when I realized that I made a prediction in the last WandaVision episode that Vision is just not making it past this show. I'm sorry. I think Vision is dying. He's gone. He's gone, you know, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think he's faking here, and he's just not making it out. That's my prediction. And watching that scene of him like, the people need help, and he's like being pulled apart, oh, that was just heartbreaking to watch. And I'm not ready for the full thing of like him actually having to die again. Him actually having to like we're actually gonna lose Vision again. That scene was like a glimpse of like, be prepared, Vision is probably gonna go at the end of this. And at the end of the episode 1, it's like, alright, everybody chill, I got this. Expands the universe, the walls start to expand, consumes the little sword headquarters that they build, and they all become clowns, which is her own commentary on them. Wanda is now doing satirical commentary, I guess. She's now calling the government clowns. Good job there. But yeah, she expands the universe, so Vision's dead body that's being torn apart gets consumed back into reality, and he's fine. She consumes a lot of the sword. Tyler Hayward gets away, but Darcy gets cuffed to a car, and she gets consumed as well. And that's where that episode ends. Crazy fucking ending there. But again, like, that episode just raised a lot more questions. I'm like, I want some answers, come on. And here we have episode 7. Now, I talked about how episode 5 had so much momentum going into episode 6, and there wasn't really much of a drop. There was like a little bit of a drop in my opinion in terms of pace, but this episode had even more of a drop. I thought we were heading into something great here. Let's talk about the aerospace engineer that Monica was talking about, right? So Monica is trying to get into the Hex, and she calls upon this aerospace engineer, and there's a clear close-up of her texting him, and she's like, my guy will be here soon, and many people were theorizing about who it could be. I blame the internet for getting my hopes up, because they were like, it's Reed Richards, it's John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and I'm like, please, the internet, cast somebody else, stop forcing this John Krasinski narrative. I love John Krasinski, but the internet has forced it so much that like, I think we should just change it up. I don't know. I will be super happy if he's cast as Reed Richards, but just the internet has been forcing it for so many years now that I won't even be surprised if it's somebody else. Anyways, the internet got my hopes up that it's Reed Richards, and then the aerospace engineer, or not even the engineer. I don't even think we saw him yet, because I think the actress who plays Monica Rambeau has, you know, she has said that we will all be surprised once we see who it is. So it can't just be some random general, right? So anyways, they built her like this special car. Monica's like, alright, I'm going in. Drives the little car, doesn't work, fucking kicks her back out. By the way, the visual effects in this, I mean, when Marvel said that these shows are going to be movie quality on our TV screens, they weren't playing around, dude. These visual effects are nuts. Like when Wanda is expanding the universe and we're seeing it pass through the town and the town is changing. Great transitions. The visual effects are beautiful. Anyways, the car that she builds, that doesn't work. So she's like, alright, well, I can get through. I'm going to go by hand. And guess what? Darcy already told her, hey, you can't go in there or your cells might change. And many people have informed me that Monica is like, she has powers in the comics. And yeah, she goes through the wall and she comes out with her eyes glowing blue, and now she has powers. I guess you can see like the radiation, the waves of like this reality. That's her power. She might be like a Captain Marvel, photon blasts and just energy, just non-specific energy being spurred out of her. You know, we talked about favorite commercials, but like, what's your favorite WandaVision intro so far? Mine has to be the Modern Family / The Office one, just because I used to watch those shows, and I absolutely love those shows. But yeah, the Modern Family / The Office intro, that's my favorite one so far. Within Westview, episode 7 turned into this like mockumentary style, like Wanda's giving interviews and she's all like, I'm fine, and she's completely losing it. Like I said earlier, I was praising Paul Bettany a lot, but I said how Elizabeth Olsen was great as well. But what I was really looking forward to is towards the end, when everything starts to crumble, I was like, Wanda is gonna go nuts. Elizabeth Olsen's about to unlock a whole new level of acting. She starts off really good, and she keeps getting better and better and better. And yeah, this episode, like, she's really falling apart, and I am not ready for the next 2 episodes because I think this whole reality is going to crumble. I think her kids are gone. I think Vision's going to be gone. I think it's going to be really depressing for Wanda, and Elizabeth Olsen's about to knock it out of the park. She's fantastic in this. And especially after episode 6 of Vision breaking through and trying to, find help and then almost dying. In this episode, there was like a change of complete pace for his character, where now he's like hanging out with Darcy in this van for majority of the episode. And yeah, I just thought that was weird because I thought we had such great pace with Vision of him being like, I've had enough of this. I gotta go, be a detective and find out what's happening. In terms of this episode, now he's like just chilling and just talking to and he's talking to Darcy about things that we already know. I mean, maybe it's needed because she needs to catch him up on the outside life that he had that he doesn't know. So yeah, but I just thought this episode was just a slow down in pace. I remember at the end of that Halloween episode, I was thinking, okay, no, this was good, but I'm expecting a really big episode next week. And then episode 7 happened, and now I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, okay, this was good, but I'm expecting a really big episode in episode 8, right? I'm expecting answers, big reveals all over the place. People have said that this 8th episode is potentially 47 minutes long, which means it's like 40 minutes long, because there's like 7 minutes of credit at the end. Like, what's up with that? That's just nuts. Why you do that? I'm expecting the last episode to be maybe close to an hour long. I can't imagine the next 2 episodes, either one of them is going to be like 30 minutes long, because we have so many questions still to answer. Like, I'm part of me slightly worried that we're not going to get full answers to all of them, because remember, this show leads into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I feel like some of the answers will not come fully, right? Because they need to continue this story. In terms of Agatha Harkness, let's talk about it. I don't read the comics, so I don't know anything about Agatha Harkness, but I made a mistake of looking her up just now, and I read like just a tiny bit of it. And what I learned is that in the comics, she has a son by the name of Nicholas Scratch. Her bunny's name is Scratchy, so potentially. But the thing is about that reveal is that it sucks, the internet nowadays. People have already said, Agatha is Agatha Harkness. She's probably the witch behind all of it. So when that reveal happened, to me personally, it didn't feel so satisfying because it feels like the internet already told me that that's the case. You know what I mean? Although I am looking forward to seeing what's her goal, like what's her end game, what does she want from Wanda? Because if you remember in that 7th episode where Wanda is giving the interview, somebody behind the camera asks her, do you think you deserve it? And she's like, what do you mean? And then at the end of the episode, it's revealed that Agatha was the one behind it all along. It was Agatha all along. Is Agatha like trying to get revenge on Wanda? Is it more like, oh, you wronged me in the past and you deserve this pain that you're suffering right now? Is that what it means? And did we see the last of the twins, Because at the end of the episode, she was like, where are my kids? And we haven't seen them yet. Was that the last we've seen of the twins? Are they gone now? Is this where the final crumbling is happening? A lot of people talk about this Mephisto character, which again, I don't know anything about, and I don't want to look him up because I don't want, this whole comic book information to spoil potentially the big reveal at the end. But if this Mephisto character is in play, is Agatha like a henchwoman to Mephisto? Like, is she working for him? Also, it does get revealed that Agatha was the one manipulating Pietro, right? And then Pietro, in the secret post-credit scene for this episode, sneaky Marvel, caught Monica at the end there. So is he like a henchman to her? Is like a whole circle of people who are working together right now? But my theory is that Agatha Harkness is making it out of this show. I think she's going to directly relate to Doctor Strange and into the Multiverse of Madness. I think in the 9th episode, Doctor Strange will make a cameo, which will blow everybody away. But I think Agatha is going to get out of this show because I don't think they put this reveal here almost at the end of the season just to kill her off in the last 2 episodes maybe. I think she's going to move on to the next movie, the next project, which is Doctor Strange. And that's the kind of worry that I have here, is that you're going to answer some questions, but you're clearly going to save some answers for the next Doctor Strange movie. I don't want this to feel like it's incomplete, right? Because the original slate for Phase 4 was that WandaVision was going to come out like spring of 2021, right? And then Doctor Strange was going to come out in May of 2021, right? So they were supposed to be back-to-back. So maybe they structured it as like the cliffhanger at the end of WandaVision, and then like a month later you'll be able to see the continuation in Doctor Strange. But we will not get Doctor Strange until 2022. So I'm kind of hoping that, you know, the answers are there. At least a lot of them are. And obviously it's going to end with a cliffhanger leading into Doctor Strange. But I hope it's not a big one where we're really going to have to wait for Doctor Strange to find out. But my theory is that Agatha Harkness is making it out of this show. She's going to go directly into Doctor Strange, and we'll see what happens there. And yeah, what's up with Pietro, right? Because I mean, I did say I think it's all fan service, but if Agatha Harkness was the one controlling him all along, why did she create a different face? Why did she send like a fake Pietro? And he also seems to have powers. He's running around. What does that mean for him? And is he actually Pietro? Is he Mephisto? What does that all mean? Also, now that Monica Rambeau has powers fully and she's in the reality, it seems like her and Wanda are going to team up, and Darcy's going to help, and Vision's going to help. So they're all probably going to team up here to try to protect this reality. But yeah, we'll see. I mentioned it earlier in the earlier video how like I thought the pacing was good. You know, they kept the mystery going with the shorter episodes, but as the mystery kept on getting even better, I started to get more frustrated because I was like, I want longer episodes, give me answers. But yeah, those are my thoughts and theories about WandaVision and what could happen in the last 2 episodes. There's just a lot to talk about with like 3 episodes, so I'm sorry if I didn't cover some things. I didn't want this to be like a play-by-play of some things. I just told you what I liked, what I didn't like, some pacing issues that I had. But yeah, let's all get excited for the last 2 episodes of WandaVision. Leave your theories down in the comments. Tell me what you think might happen. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and see you later.